Hi, welcome to GamingandTech.com. I'm Robin Tippins. Today's episode is entitled A Wii Little Problem. Much of this week's stories on the blogosphere and games and technology, things like that, were primarily focused on the Wii. The first one that we dealt with was that the Wii is region locked. Now, that's not really what we saw before. Most of what they've been coming out was saying they were not going to, allow it to be region locked. If you don't know what region locked means, it means if I have the Wii version from Japan, I can't play an American game on it or a European game on it until it's coded for my region. And what you're going to see, the problems with that are the innovation. You see really cool games out of Japan, and you guys, I know you've seen some of them that are just fabulous, and when you bring them over to America, they actually get kind of a cult following, a cult status. But that won't happen now. If you're going to see something from Japan, if it makes it in America, it will be because it was coded for America. And I don't know if they did that, mainly for translation to make sure it would really fit. But it seems like it's for gamers, the hardcore gamers. It's not a favorite thing of theirs. They were pretty much up in arms. But mostly because of the second thing that seems to be the problem with it is European gamers are pretty upset about it. And that's because there's a large market for games in America, there's a large market for games in Japan, there's a large market in Europe, but not nearly as large, as America and Japan. So the best games come out in America and Japan first. But even if it comes out in Japan first, then America gets it almost right after. And the same thing, if it comes out in America first, then Japan gets it. Well, yeah, right. Then Japan gets it, really close after. Never comes out first in Europe, and they're usually the third tier. And most of the European gamers are pretty up in arms about that. Anyway, that's the main thing. When you see online they're talking about the Wii being region locked, that's the main problem with it, is it's going to block a little bit of innovation. And so some of the developers aren't thrilled about it. And it actually makes it a little more expensive, so there'll be some people that just decide not to mess with Europe or not to mess with the American market, just stay in Japan. Nobody really likes it when that happens. But anyway, moving right along. The next story about the Wii was actually kind of funny. Some diggers were playing around, and they found a way to get into the Wii Press Site. It's less exciting than you think. You expect this super locked down site. There's all this great information on it, but there wasn't really anything that we didn't already know. We know the Wii is not HD. That's old news. We know it has a Google controller. With some of the other stuff, we know that you'll be able to play games from the Super Nintendo on it via download. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff. Pretty much everything that was on that site, besides some cool shots we hadn't seen, pretty much we already knew this, which led a lot of people to wonder, was this a Microsoft type marketing viral attempt? Because, and I'll show you the password. The username was guest, and the password was Nintendo. Very difficult to crack, I'm sure. But I've had access to the press site for some time, and it's always been guest and Nintendo. So my best guess is that it wasn't a marketing ploy. It was laziness on the part of Nintendo. So anyway, I played around with it, but like I said, I had already had access to it. But it's on the website. I put a link on the website on how to get there. And then I actually put a link to the Dig story. So you can go there and you read all the comments. They're actually pretty funny. I love Dig's comments. But the last thing, much less interesting to most of you out there, but I know that we have a lot of viewers, that are just tech professionals and people in the games industry, which is kind of cool. But most of you gamer people would, just gamers would not be probably that interested in this at all. But for industry professionals, there is a mobile games award thing going on until the 25th. That's when you can submit your stuff. There's going to be, I'll put a link in the show notes, but there's 5 different awards and then an overall award. There's also a subset for students that want to break into the mobile games industry. You don't have to have a mobile game yet. You can just have an idea, as long as it's been fleshed out pretty well, with lots of artwork and things like that. And the money's good. There's a pretty decent cash prize with it. Students also get flown, I think, to wherever to where the award is. Like I said, it's in the show notes. But what was so cool about it was it'll actually help you get your game to development. And I know that in order to be seen in this industry sometimes it's very difficult. There's so much talent out there. Not enough talent. Most of us, or when you see stories, we're really normally looking for talent. But there is a lot of talent out there as far as when you're talking about a competition, and sometimes it's hard to get spotted and hard to get seen. And what better way to get seen than to win an award for the best mobile game? And there's several of, like I said, there's several categories. It's like most innovative game, best use of Flash. Anyway, I would suggest that you take a look at it. And if you've got an already fleshed out idea or something, I wouldn't think you'd be able to whip up something in the next couple of days. But if you can, if you're some amazing person, I would suggest that you take the link and go apply for the award. Anyway, that's been this episode of GamingandTech.com. I'm Robin Tippins, and I welcome you back. Thank you for the new subscribers and the comments. Keep them coming. Thanks.